of the app. But it remains to be seen, and Carl, it very well may end up being decided in the courts.
Meantime, Blinken's in Shanghai today. Possible face-to-face meeting with Xi on Friday about support for the Russians, about some of this, about sanctions, about chips.
I mean, there's really nothing that they have in common right now. I mean, look, we're trying to stop them everywhere, and yet I think it's great that they talk. But what they're really doing is trying to stop cybersecurity at home. They're trying to keep them from having all the advanced chips. And yet they want to, the Chinese are willing to talk to them. I still think that the Chinese have a weaker hand and that's why they're willing to talk. But we're not giving them anything. I mean, it's really different from the old days when we wanted to sell diapers and Prel so badly that we gave them the house. We don't do that anymore. We just say, listen, we're going to take away, you want NVIDIA? You know, we'll give you Texas Instruments, which, by the way, is up big.
And they're not going to use AMD or Intel in their own telecommunications infrastructure, for example, any longer.
How about Apple? I mean, Apple, Nike, what do we give them? We give them Apple, Nike, Estee Lauder.
Starbucks. Yeah.
And those are all doing badly because...
yeah, what else? We're forgetting something. And Tesla. We give them Tesla, too.
Oh, well, Tesla's different. Tesla's fabulous.
We do give them Tesla. The only company that's been able to 100% own
its
Chinese subsidiary.
Right.
Of course, that was very helpful to the Chinese EV makers, it would seem.
Absolutely.
By the way, advances they've made since Tesla obviously made Shanghai its home for making so many of its automobiles.
So what do you make of it? I mean, what do you make of the idea that we're talking to them and yet we have nothing to say? What are those talks like? You know, we don't like you, you don't like us. Okay, let's have some food. I mean, come on.
There's so much I don't understand that I can rarely share anything that would be of value, Jim.
David, you never say that. What you say is it's to be continued, or
the jury's still out.
Jury's
still out.
Jury's still out.
We'll see.
Time will tell.
We'll see. Time will tell. Absolutely.
You guys.
You know, David, I want an abundance of caution on this.
Can we talk? Let's talk a little Visa, because it's only a $565 billion market value.
Let me get my Visa file out.
Get
just
the Visa file out. GAAP net income was $4.7 billion. That equated to $2.29 a share for its second fiscal quarter results. Non-GAAP, by the way, is $5.1 billion or $251. So take your pick. You can see the stock's up about 2.5%. But as a reflection of the overall economy as well, Jim, despite what may be some brown shoots that both you and I have sort of been hearing about anecdotally. I mean, you did have payments volume up 8%, cross-border volume up 16%, processed transactions up 11%. That doesn't sound like much of a slowdown, although there was a deceleration during the quarter in that growth.
And they gave you an April number. It was okay. Look, nothing's changed in terms of the consumer wanting to go places. The consumer is still the long on money, short on time. We saw that from American Express. They want to do things. They just seem to be less materially oriented.
Yeah.
They want to travel. Plays into Boeing's hand. No, I'm not kidding. When you speak to Larry Culp, GE Aerospace, he said, don't forget, Jim, people want to travel like never before. That has not changed.
Yeah. And when it comes to goods, whether they be luxury or otherwise, you're right. I mean, Kering is another example. The owner of Gucci.
Not good.
Not a good quarter. Stock is down. You can take a look, but
that was a big quarter.
We're talking about a significant decline in the first half operating income as a result of Gucci sales. And by the way, it's not alone. We've seen it with any number of other luxury companies.
Right. I mean, I think that the world's changed. Richemont was okay.
Usual group. Yeah, Richemont.
It's interesting. Richemont's okay, Carl, because you wear it on your arm. You can't see it, so it doesn't. It's not showing. But I have to tell you that the idea that we're going to go spend on great stuff, it's just not the new way. It's a new frugality, except for when it comes to travel, because it's an experiential economy. I had Mattel on last night. Now, Hasbro, by the way.
I was going to say, Hasbro's the #1 S&P right now.
That guy's a magician. I don't know. I mean, we think that Musk is a magician. We think that the O's the mentalist is Hasbro.
I thought I had it wrong. 61 cents beats 27.
No, it was incredible. It was an amazing quarter, and that guy is so good. We should get him on. I thought that Mattel was going to be the star of the toy show. No, it was Hasbro. But Mattel has this 12 ride theme park in Glendale. You know, so it's kind of doing a reverse Disney. People like that. I want to go to.
What happened at Hasbro?
Well, yeah, Christopher Cox. Yeah, that guy Cox. He's
Yeah.
amazing. No, I mean honestly, you know, he did this Wizards. Wizards is better. Dave, it's also an inventory story. The inventory has finally dropped.
I see.
Chris Cox has finally turned around Hasbro. The toy business has gotten better. You know, my father sold toys. What a horrible business.
It is tough.
Yeah, it's really tough. He sold Bobby Shantz games. Bobby Shantz was a reliever for the Phillies for about a half a season, and that was what he did for a living.
Does this mean you got free stuff as a kid?
Well, you could have all the Bobby Shantz ones you wanted, but he sold them out of a station wagon in the back at flea markets, which he told me was really a great job because you see, sometimes when you live in that fantasy world, it's nice.
It is nice.
I felt very at home back there with the station wagon, but I'm bringing this up because toys are so hard, and yet Hasbro and Mattel were good last night. I think that's extraordinary.
Take a listen to what Mattel told Jim on Mad.
We're executing on our $1 billion share repurchase program and just bought $100 million of share in the quarter. We expect to outpace the industry and gain share and reaffirm guidance for the year. And the plan for the year is to emphasize cash generation and return to top-line growth in 2025.
Whether it's toys, Jim, you mentioned travel. Hilton's up 6.
Oh my God, Hilton is that's it. Net unit growth, the NUG that people like so much.
We got this upgrade of Airbnb and
Oh
Mizuho.
my God, the Airbnb, and you have both. You have Musk talking Airbnb, and then you got good Airbnb.
Actual Airbnb.
And by the way, the Olympics.
They mentioned the Olympics could be a boost to rates. They go from 150 to 200.
I happen to love Chesky. I think he's great. I remember when things were really going bad during COVID, and he had to bite the bullet, and he hated laying people off, but he saved the company. And look at this thing. It's a juggernaut.
Texas Instruments shares are also up 6%.
Well, there was look, they said they have the worst conference call in the world, but they did say, look, we saw a bottom in some of the analog stuff, which is autos, and then people buy ON Semi, which is the worst performing semi, and they go buy NX. Texas Instruments gets away with it, even though they gave you absolutely just give you inventories.
Yeah.
I love how they insult the analysts. Maybe they get a little comeuppance here.
Well,
Stacey Rasgon's good.
It is
Hangs in
the
there.
father, along with a couple of other companies, of chip making in the world, right? I mean, it's where Morris Chang actually spent most of his career before going to create Taiwan Semi.
We've not mentioned NVIDIA, which is an insult to NVIDIA, because NVIDIA is the one that started going. Remember, NVIDIA was down 10% on Friday. Supermicro is down 23%. Those are the ones that have to come back, not Texas Instruments.
Okay.
And this is going to be. This is why, Carl, when you ask me, are we out of the woods, whatever? NVIDIA, if it doesn't take out the high, and I believe in owning, not trading NVIDIA, and if Apple can't lift, then I think you've got these two stocks that are just glaring and right in your face as being bellwethers. If one of the Microsoft, Meta, Google doesn't hit it, then you tip.
You think Alphabet's the prime suspect on that?
I just think Alphabet is. We've been selling out. We have a club meeting today at 12, and I'm talking about how I'm grateful that we've sold